Hi, this is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, your English fluency guide, hoping to be able to help you improve your fluency. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the best way to practice your English. Now, I've given you lots of advice in the past, and if you want to receive more advice, don't forget to subscribe down here, just pressing this button. And also don't forget to download my free fluency exercises, because these will help you. In fact, the best way to practice your English is not really a question of quantity. It's a question of regularity. So, for example, it's not really important that you study 1 hour every day, or even just say, I don't have time during the week, I'll study just at the weekend, but I'll do 2 hours consecutively. It's not a question of how much you study. It's a question of how often you study. Now that's really, really important, much more important than studying 2 hours once a week. It's better to study 5 minutes, but every day. It's the regularity. It's like exercise. If you do it regularly, you keep your brain constantly functioning and remembering. So you build on bricks. If you build on a brick and tomorrow you carry on a little brick and so on, you'll get higher and higher. Instead, if you put up a brick and then you wait for a whole week, the brick will tend to fall down and you'll have to start from scratch. And so it'll be that much harder. So as I said, it's not a question of quantity, but of regularity. Now, how can you find time? I know we're all terribly busy. I'm the first one who never has enough time to do exercise, which I always want to do, but don't do enough. So I've made a few notes here. For those of you who need to practice your reading and writing, the best idea is to always have a little notebook with you and a book that you want to read. Of course, nowadays we have a lot of digital products, and so some of us prefer to use the old book where you can feel the paper and also take notes by hand. Some people remember better. So that's where you need in your bag, constantly with you, a notebook and a book. Or if you prefer digital, you can take notes on your mobile, and you can also keep a book that you're reading on your mobile. But it doesn't even need to be books. You could be reading a blog post, you could be reading a newspaper article. It doesn't really matter. As long as you practice what you need to practice, reading and writing, it doesn't matter what it is exactly, unless you've got an exam, and then you've got to be very specific, much more specific. In any case, what I recommend is to do this regularly. So everyone has a different time of day, but you could be taking a coffee break. Pull out your book, make 5 minutes of notes on vocabulary that maybe you read in your book, or quickly read a paragraph of your book. Notice any words that you don't know. Make a note in your exercise book. You have to practice writing emails. Practice a quick email in your notebook or on your mobile if you're doing it digitally. What's important is take this 5-minute break, be it a coffee break, be it just before you're going to bed, before you switch off the light, quickly do something, reading or writing, or as soon as you get up. It doesn't really matter when. You have to find a fixed time. It's a bit like brushing your teeth. Do you brush your teeth every evening before going to bed? Then, before switching off the light, also do this one little extra exercise. Read a paragraph in English, or write whatever you feel is necessary for you to practice your writing. Do a grammar exercise. Just a little, but every day, day in and day out. So that's what's important if you want to practice your reading and writing. If you have to practice your listening and speaking, I've often told you that listening can be done whilst you're commuting, whilst you're doing household chores, whilst you're exercising. The same goes for speaking. because you can speak to yourself whilst you're driving, you can speak to yourself whilst you're getting dressed. If you notice something, I mean, I could say now, oh, it's a beautiful day, the sun's shining, I can see the laundry hanging outside, oh, there's a bird and a cat running after the bird. So anything. I have an itch on my nose, so I scratch it. I'm propping up my glasses. So anything, just say it out loud, and that way you're practicing your fluency and your speaking. Now, of course, what can you listen to? You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to any English lessons that your teachers told you to listen to, or you can watch YouTube videos, anything you're particularly passionate about. When I say watch, you should really actually be listening whilst you're doing your commuting or household chores, but it doesn't matter. You're listening, you don't always need to watch everything. You mustn't forget in all these situations to put all your settings into English. That could be your mobile, it could be your computer, it could be your social network settings, so Facebook, Twitter, and so on. The more you're surrounded by English, the more you'll switch your brain into English, and that much easier it'll be. So to speak to yourself, to listen and understand, and your reading and writing exercises will be easier. But what's important again is regularity. So why not turn on your podcast whilst you're going to work every morning? Once a day. If it's too much, just do it on the way to work. You don't need to do it on the way back. Or speak to yourself on the way back or whilst you're getting dressed. Choose a time which is best for you, but always, and it doesn't need to be long. Some people say, oh, I don't have time to listen in the car. It takes me 5 minutes to the shops. Doesn't matter. Listen 5 minutes there, listen 5 minutes back. That's 10 minutes a day. Which reminds me, that's one of the reasons I produced the 10-minute a day fast fluency trainer, exactly for those people who don't have time. So if you're interested in that, those are the exercises down in the description below. You can click on the link and download the first week of the fast fluency trainer and test it out in the car. It's only 10 minutes a day. Could be 5 minutes going, 5 minutes coming back. And then if you like it, I have more weeks because in total it's a 17-week course. Okay, so I think I've told you everything. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. I'll try and keep a regular live YouTube video, so that we can keep progressing. And do type in the comments box if you have any questions, and do write to me every time I log in where you're writing from, so I know who I'm talking to. It's nice to be able to interact and discover who's listening to you. Okay, so that's all for now, and see you again soon. Bye. Hope it was useful for you. Bye-bye.